where Colin was wrong.
I love Matt LaFleur, but this team in Green Bay has no identity, and that's on the coach. They're 5th in rushing attempts, but 24th in yards per carry. They want to run. They're not good at it. And now Tucker Kraft's gone for the year. I always worry about teams, and when they don't have an identity, they've just got a bunch of good players. I mean, they've lost to Cleveland, Carolina, and tied Dallas. This isn't a lack of talent. It's a lack of knowing what they are, and that's hard to create, sometimes harder to maintain, but I do feel like the compass is off and Green Bay's offense is a little lost right now.
I don't think it's necessarily that. I do think that, first off, losing Tucker Kraft is devastating. You guys know I'm such a huge fan of everything Tucker Kraft does. And it's also kind of tough because, you know, the way how I watch these games, you know, I watch the replays and I rip through them. I cut out all of the, you know, extra stuff. And when you do that, sometimes you miss injuries, you know, because I just keep going through it. And so if someone is a little bit banged up or something, or they're whatever it is. And so I didn't realize that Tucker Kraft was injured until afterwards, because I'm going through all my notes and I'm like, how is Tucker Kraft only targeted? And then I was just like, he had to have gotten injured in this game. Like, that's had to have what happened. And then unfortunately, that's what it was. And so that's a huge bummer. That is an absolute huge bummer. I'm a huge fan of Matt LaFleur. Huge fan of Matt LaFleur. He has shown a problem with getting this Packers team ready to play in many moments in many games. And that it was really highlighted more than anything against the Detroit Lions. And I always use that as a reference point from last year when they were not ready. The Lions were so banged up, and yet there was no way for the Packers to actually take advantage of that. Matt LaFleur is yelling at some random fan on the field, and like I always said, my comment on that was always, I don't care what that guy said. He's clearly just a Lions fan or something, or he was on the field for whatever reason. And I'm like, why you're chirping back? And you're the man. You're the head coach. You're the head coach of the Green Bay. I don't care that guy. If he said the meanest thing you've ever heard in your entire life, doesn't matter. It's just some random dude. That guy, he does not exist in your life. So I don't care what he said. And so that was always so bizarre. And then you see the game and it was yeah, what the heck was that? And it's not like this game itself was another representation of that. It was a cousin of that. It was a weird game because they had a lot of success, but they also couldn't score. Even just looking at this box score right here, 26 for 37, 273 yards, but 0 touchdowns, 1 interception, and they put up 13 points, right? Even that alone, and in a weird game like that. And listen, the Carolina Panthers are a weird team right now. I mean, they're winning games, and I still have not been sold on the Panthers. I still have not. I think the Packers are clearly a better team. So a game like this, you are kind of what was this? Was this a catch can? You know, was this just one of those games? And the Packers have already had too many of, what was that? You know, it was against the Cardinals. It was against the Browns, right? We've had those moments, and Jordan Love, as much as I praise him, as much as I think he's great, and I told you, when he played against Pittsburgh, I loved his game management. It wasn't his big plays. It wasn't the throw to Tucker Kraft. It wasn't the throw to Watson or Dobbs. I forget which one. It was his game management. It was him checking down, et cetera, and then he made 2 really, 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 really awful throws and only paid the consequences for one of them. That other one, people say, oh, it was 4th down. It was as good of a punt. No, because the defender should have caught it, and he should have been a pick 6. If not, it would have been a huge game. It would have been taken down to the 30 or something. It would have been massive. So, no. And then the other interception, when it was 1st and 10, he throws it into triple coverage, and it was just this was a weird, low-scoring, ugly, bizarre game. That's not the time for that decision. It's not the time for that decision. And it's not that they lost because of Jordan Love. They That is not what I'm saying. They did not lose because of Jordan Love, but they also didn't win because of Jordan Love. He was not the solution in that moment either. But Matt LaFleur, kick the field goal. Kick the field goal instead of going for it on fourth down. It's okay to kick field goals. It's okay to not go for it on every fourth down. I know at the time the scorer would have made it a little bit differently. And this is where people get too obsessed with the math because it was 136. And if you kick a field goal, you're like, well, it's 13-9. We're still down, but we still need a touchdown. I get it, I do, but that's you're overcooking the books here, as we can see, where if you kicked a field goal, you'd be tied. It'd be a different game. And then at the other point, when you scored the touchdown, you taken the lead. Like that's how these things work. That's how these things work. So it's just people are missing field goals. People are missing extra points. People are getting blocked field goals. It seems it's every single week now. I mean, it feels like every single game. Like, it's so funny. You used to just be able to walk away. That was the whole thing, why they wanted to do kickoffs differently and do field goals differently and extra points different, It's because they were just like, everyone, it's too automatic. Not anymore. Who feels good about an extra point anymore? Who feels good about a 35-yard field goal? Nobody does anymore. I don't know about you. I have no idea now. I don't know. It's a 37-yarder. Like, I think he's going to make it, but I don't know. I don't know what's about to happen here. It's happening every single game, seemingly, at least every single week. So sometimes it is like, just kick the field goal. Just kick. You don't know what's about to happen. Just kick the field goal. 13-9. I get it. You're still going to need a touchdown. And so we can do the math. We can do all this. We don't know how the rest of the game is going to unfold. We just don't. We know points are hard to come by right now. So maybe just get the points. Maybe there's another scenario where actually you're just going to have to kick another 2 field goals. And that's how you get the lead now. Yeah. So we still need more than 3 points. Okay? So maybe that's that you plan accordingly then, if that's the way how that game unfolds. There you go. But I think we're so obsessed with the mathematics and so obsessed with it that it's not all or nothing with math. This is how science is actually done. You have people that run the numbers, that their expertise is the statistics. And then you have the other professionals whose job it is to interpret the statistics. That's why if you ever read like a research journal or you're part of a lab, which I was, like you have like a whole army of people and they all do different things. And so in those moments, you have people who are trying to interpret the numbers who are not really meant to necessarily interpret the numbers. And I think this was a perfect example as to like where things can go astray in those moments. And so it's a little of those things. You miss a field goal. You don't go for a field goal. You don't get the touchdown. You throw the interception. So when Colin's ND identity, yeah, sure, that could be part of it. And we could say, yeah, Matt LaFleur needs to get this team ready to play. But also the decision-making also Dijin as well. So it wasn't even Jordan Love's play. It was a decision-making. It wasn't even Matt LaFleur's coaching. It was the decision-making. You're going to have a random missed field goal. You're going to have a 4th down that you don't convert. You're going to have that. That's just guaranteed to happen. No one's 100%. But you should be able to be more resilient, or at the very least, you should be able to read the writing on the wall for a game like this and recognize this game's a little weird right now. Let's just get points. Let's just get points. Let's build momentum. Let's try to put a little bit more pressure on Carolina. Let's trust that, I don't know, Bryce Young is not going to be able to rise to the occasion. Let me be smart. Let me make sure. Let me have a conversation with Jordan Love and say, hey, yo, this is what we've been talking about, right? This is a close game. This is a weird game. No risk right now. Just smart decision, M. All right. Just smart decision making. You know I got you. You know I'm in your headset. You know I'm in your ears. Smart decision, M, right now. All right. Take care of the ball. We take care of the ball. We're going to win this game. And it didn't happen. And it needs to be called out, right? Just like we can celebrate the victories, you also got to talk about the losses. And sometimes a loss you could be like, not that big of a deal, et cetera, and it's like the way in which they lost. It wasn't like, they just couldn't run the ball. Nobody was open for Jordan Love. Like, those games happen. Absolutely. Ah, that was a fluky tipped interception. Ah, that fumble. Ah, dude, he never fumbles. Yeah, those things absolutely happen. And those games you can easily just chalk up and be like, ah, whatever. But this was decision making. And that's what makes it more annoying. But that's also what makes it solvable. It's like, just don't make those decisions. Make smarter decisions, make better decisions. And then there you go. You come away with the victory here. But it's a tough loss. Absolutely. Absolutely tough loss. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Green Bay Packers? Jordan Love, Matt LaFleur, where do you kind of put this on right now? What are your thoughts? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be a part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much.